All right, we are diving in to an absolutely classic scene from Taarak Mehta ka Ooltah Chashma to see how a simple little cricket ball can spiral into a crisis of epic proportions. Seriously, this is a masterclass in comedic escalation, and it all kicks off with one very dramatic phone call.
And there it is, the call that starts everything. Just imagine for a second you get this message completely out of the blue. Get here now, or I'm gathering the entire society, and if I have to, I'm calling the cops. I mean, Bidide isn't just annoyed. He's going straight to threatening legal action and public shaming. With zero context, you'd think a major crime went down, which is, of course, exactly the point.
So naturally, Jethalal's mind just goes into overdrive. He has no clue what he could have possibly done, but the threat of involving the police and his father, that is more than enough to send him into an absolute, full-blown panic. And what's his first instinct? Call for backup.
And who else are you going to call when there's a 5-alarm fire? Your personal fire brigade, obviously. Jethalal's totally frantic call to his best friend Taarak Mehta just shows you how high the stakes are in his mind. He's not just asking for a bit of advice, he is pleading for a full-on rescue from a disaster he can't even name.
Now, this is where you see the two mindsets clash, and it's perfect. You've got Mehta, who's always the voice of reason, suggesting, a calm, peaceful approach. But Jethalal? Oh, he's already deep in fight-or-flight mode. His reply, "My peace will depend on his noise," it tells you everything you need to know. He is not going in there for a quiet chat. He's preparing for a war. So while Jethalal is literally racing towards what he assumes is his own doom, the show does something really clever. It shifts the perspective. We, the audience, we get to see the so-called crime scene before he does. This is just classic dramatic irony, and it's what makes the big confrontation so hilarious. We're already in on the joke. Okay, so the threat of a police complaint, of public humiliation, it's all just hanging heavy in the air. But what was the actual horrible crime that could possibly justify such an extreme reaction from Bidide? What did he do?
And here you have it, the evidence of this heinous crime. It's not a crime scene at all, is it? It's just the aftermath of a neighborhood cricket game. The actual culprits, the kids known as the Tapu Sena, have wisely made themselves scarce. All that's left behind is the weapon, a cricket ball, and the actual damage, a couple of broken windows.
Yup, that's it. That's the grand total of the crime. Two broken window panes. This is the entire emergency that required threats of calling the police.
And it's not like Bidide and Iyer are just waiting around patiently. Oh no. They are actively plotting. They're planning to teach him such a lesson that it never, ever happens again. They're not just looking for a simple apology. They are gearing up to deliver the lecture of a lifetime. Okay, so all of this builds and builds to the moment of truth. Jethalal finally pulls up to the society, and he is mentally bracing himself for the absolute worst-case scenario. And this slide just brilliantly captures the very heart of the joke. Look at what Jethalal was expecting. Police cars, the entire society gathered to watch his public shaming, his father getting a formal complaint. And the reality? It's just an angry bidet in Iyer standing next to some shattered glass. The gap is huge. Jethalal's first reaction just says it all. He sees the broken glass, and his panicked brain can only jump to one conclusion that fits the crazy severity of that phone call. Was there a thief? He literally cannot compute that this is the entire problem. But then, the actual truth comes out that his son Tapu's cricket ball is what broke the windows. And in that moment, the entire dynamic of the situation flips completely on its head. This is where the real comedy is. And it's perfectly summed up by this fantastic Hindi phrase, batangad banana, which basically means to make a mountain out of a molehill. The second Jethalal realizes this is what Bidet has done, all that fear just evaporates and is instantly replaced with pure, unfiltered frustration. So what you get is this complete narrative inversion. See, Binjali and Iyer, they walked into this expecting a heartfelt apology, but the moment Jethalal sees how tiny the actual issue is, he just completely flips the script. The accused, in a flash, becomes the accuser. And this is where Jethalal just unleashes his own anger, basically yelling, "For something as small as a broken window, you made me leave my shop and race over here? If you just told me on the phone, I would have said, go get it repaired, I'll pay for it." He points out very loudly how a simple, calm conversation could have solved the whole thing without any of this drama. When you break it all down, this whole fight was never really about the broken glass.
It was about the massive, completely out of proportion overreaction. It's such a hilarious lesson in communication, right? It just goes to show how a little bit of drama can turn a molehill into a mountain. And it really leaves you wondering, who's the real culprit here? The person who makes a small mistake, or the one who turns it into a federal case?